explore the question, is it okay for Christians to be cremated? This question comes up frequently for Christians because historically, cremation has not been a part of the Christian tradition. But with cremation on the rise, especially in the United States, more and more Christians are wondering if it's the right choice for them or for their loved ones. Let's take a look at the growing interest in cremation and what answers we can get from the Bible on the matter. Ever since 2015, cremation has become the top choice among Americans for what to do with their remains. And every year since then, cremation has grown in popularity. In fact, according to the National Funeral Directors Association, in 20 years, the association predicts nearly 80% of us will opt to have our bodies turned into ash. The two main factors for the growing popularity of cremation are first, increasing funeral costs and the complexities for traditional burials. Cremation is simply more affordable and allows for more flexibility with memorial services. Next are the decreasing religious restrictions, and with that, decreasing interest in traditional church service funerals. So, while the trend towards cremation will continue, is it wrong for Christians to cremate a person's body according to the Bible? Early Christians agreed with their Jewish ancestors that cremation was not an option they would consider. Cremation was practiced in biblical times, but it was not commonly practiced by the Israelites or by New Testament believers. In the cultures of the Bible times, burial in a tomb, cave, or in the ground was the common way to dispose of a human body. We see several examples of this throughout the Bible. In the Old Testament, we read about Abraham buying a burial site for him and his wife Sarah. We know from the New Testament that John the Baptist and Lazarus were buried. And of course, Jesus Christ himself, his body was placed in a tomb after his crucifixion. These examples, along with several others throughout the Bible, could lead a reader to assume that burial is the proper Christian way to deal with someone's body after they die. But while burial was the common practice, the Bible nowhere commands burial as the only allowed method of disposing of someone's body after death. One could say cremation is permissible since it's not prohibited by the Bible. However, there's another common concern with cremation that we should address. Does cremation interfere in any way with resurrection? People have died in countless ways throughout history, from accidents to warfare to being lost at sea, and yet God is all-powerful and will still resurrect them in the future. The reality is that even if the body remains intact upon death, it will eventually decompose. The bodies of most people who have lived since creation will no longer exist by the time of the resurrection. The believer's hope, whether we submit our remains to burial or cremation, is that the body that is buried or incinerated is not the body that will ultimately dwell with the Lord. The Bible says, but someone will ask, how are the dead raised? With what kind of body will they come? What you sow does not come to life unless it dies, and what you sow is not the body that is to be but a bare kernel. So it is with the resurrection of the dead. What is sown is perishable, what is raised is imperishable. It is sown in dishonor, is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. In other words, the new body of a Christian will be radically changed and glorified like the body of the exalted Christ. It will be an eternal, spiritual body, never again to experience weakness, disease, suffering, or death. At the resurrection, it will not make any difference whether a person's body has been cremated or buried. God knows how to raise the body either in the resurrection of life or the resurrection of condemnation. The body that is interned will either slowly decay or burn rapidly, but God will give all his children a new body, glorious and incorruptible, to dwell with him forever. Once and for all, the negativity of death and separation from God will be nullified. If you are still unsure how you feel about cremation, the Bible tells us, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. A person or a family considering this issue should pray for wisdom and follow the conviction that results. Lastly, losing someone you care about can be one of life's most difficult and stressful experiences. Decisions about funeral and burial arrangements can feel like the last thing you may want to do during such a trying time. This is even more reason to make sure you and your family agree upon certain end-of-life plans, such as cremation. So we recommend at an appropriate time discussing with your family or loved ones your views on cremation. We hope you found this video helpful. We'd like to know what your thoughts are on cremation. Please share in the comments below and subscribe to BelieveNet for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.